So let us know what you think, or let us know if you've heard about the Houston high school principal. Well, essentially, speaking of discrimination, so it was this Houston high school principal. She created
dang, it was just getting good. So let me tell y'all.
What?
So this principal in Houston, Carlotta, hold on, what's her name? Carlotta Brown is the principal at James Madison High School. She's a new principal in Houston. And she has implemented a parent dress code for the parents of the students at the school. Okay. So she basically said, what does it say? No bonnet, no leggings.
Yeah, so essentially she said no bonnets, aka satin caps, no pajamas, no hair rollers, no leggings, no baggy pants, among other things. Workout, I don't know, workout clothes. Yeah, that's essentially it. So we want to know, like, is this principal right, or is she out of bounds?
So have y'all heard about this?
Let us know if you've heard about it. I'm about to talk to them.
It looks like Robin hasn't heard about it. Robin's like, what the heck? So y'all let us know if you've heard about it. And then what do you think? Okay, because we got to come from various sides on this. So I'm an educator, so I have my own opinions about this. But
yes, you go first
here from the parents. So what I want to do is I want to put up some supporting documentation for my argument. Okay.
You got a picture of the woman who created.
I just have a picture.
No, keep going. No, you're building your case. You're building your case.
Of a woman.
You're building your case.
Of a woman at a school in a city somewhere who showed up to pick up her child in this. Okay, so I made it solo so that everybody could see. Okay. Okay. Now, the particular lady in question, they said that she had on a t-shirt dress and I forget what else she had on. A t-shirt dress and a headscarf. Okay. All right. So I don't think a t-shirt dress and a headscarf is very offensive. However, I am behind having a parent dress code. And this is the reason why. I absolutely agree with this principal, because she said that she is trying to set the precedent for her students.
Is this a high school or elementary school?
I don't know. Let me see.
Probably. Never mind.
It don't matter either way, but still, either way, it doesn't matter. It's a high school, a Houston high school principal. Okay, so even more so, this just strengthens my argument. Okay, so we're trying to prepare these children for the real world. And if you, parent, are coming up in here, this is not appropriate attire to wear outside of the house. And I don't, so like Christina said, if it was a white woman that went in there looking crazy, she wouldn't have said a thing. I disagree. Because we have some white parents that show up to my school, some Hispanic parents that show up, Black parents, and we just be like, hi, how are you? But in my mind, I'm like, ma'am, and sometimes, sir, you are in a professional setting right now, and you're not setting a good example for your student. You just cannot, you're not supposed to leave the house in pajamas. Pajamas are meant to go to bed in. Bonnets are meant to go to sleep in. Rollers are meant to be worn while you are getting your hair done, not afterwards. I'm going to need you to have some type of respect for my job in my professional place of employment, that you don't come up in here looking all any kind of way. I just can't deal. So that's where I stand on the situation.
I agree with you, Kimberlyn, but I'm going to play devil's advocate. I also understand that I don't need, parent, I don't need you to come dressed up in a tuxedo, and I don't need you to come dressed up I don't need you to be dressed up. I don't need you to have to put on extra clothing, but just a t-shirt and some pants, or a t-shirt and some shorts, just something respectable. And to Kimberlyn's point, yes, you are an example of what kids are looking up to. You're essentially their role model as a parent. So they're looking up to you. They're taking your lead. So if this is your lead of what to wear in public, and it's not appropriate. It's not appropriate. And yes, parents, you are just picking up your kid. You're maybe just if you're still in the car, then I totally understand, but you're representing your kid, you're representing yourself. And yes, you are a parent, and we're not expecting you to, as a parent, you're saying, oh, well, I shouldn't have to look like this to come pick up my kid. And yeah, you really should look respectable. Even if it's just a dirty t-shirt or dirty shorts, at least they're shorts and a t-shirt. But I don't want to see you looking like the picture that Kimberly showed. I don't want to see a bonnet. I don't want to see a muffin top. I don't want to see pajamas. I don't want to see satin top. I don't want to see you in your Lululemon pants with see-through. That's inappropriate, and that's not. It's just not.
There was a lady that came the other day, and I was on my way out, and she bent over, and I could see all of her underwear because she had on see-through leggings. And we preach to our kids all the time, our girls, about not wearing leggings to school. They are see-through. Leggings are not pants. Leggings are not pants. Do not wear those to school, right? But we have a uniform policy at my school. We wonder why we have so many issues with the kids not wearing their uniform, because the parents don't support that, because they're leaving the house in whatever they want to leave the house in. But when they behinds go to work, I bet you they had a uniform on, because if they did not, then they wouldn't be able to have a job. So I just feel like we're setting them up for failure, and it's not real life to just show up somewhere in a bonnet and pajama pants. Like, that's not okay.
I agree.
Having said all that, we have several people chiming in the comments.
Yeah, so, I want to see what the community has to say. I really want to see what the ladies have to say.
So Robin says somebody's mama went up there showing her curves and drove some little boy crazy, and that is definitely possible. Christina said, first of all, the list was all pertained to Black women, and she probably put the sagging pants in there just so that we can't say it's all focused on women. October said, I've heard about it. I'm an HR practitioner by trade, and I agree, because we have to be an example for this next generation. Sandy said, I agree with her. Dress appropriately when you go to your child's place of business. School is their job at this age. Kendra
That's a good perspective.
I like it. Kendra says, I agree with the principal. Christina, now this is the rest of it, so I do want to make sure we acknowledge this. She said there's more to the story. They supposedly called the police on the lady too. Too extreme. Let these parents be involved, even if it's kind of the bare minimum. Now that I do agree with. They said they told the lady that she was in violation of the dress code. The lady was like, what dress code? I believe she was coming to register her child. And was like, what dress code? I don't know what you're talking about. So they said, can you please leave because you're in violation of the dress code? She refused to leave because she's like, I need to register my child. And then they called the police. I absolutely think that that's the wrong consequence for it. I don't know what type of consequence. Like, I just feel like it should kind of be like, yes, so, make sure that every parent knows and all of that. And not necessarily, I'm not going to say a dress code, maybe dress guidelines. So like, for instance, we don't have a dress code as educators in the building, but we do have dress guidelines, right? So it becomes very uncomfortable if I decide to dress outside of those dress guidelines because everybody else is dressed appropriately. So I definitely don't agree with calling the police.
Yeah, that was extreme.
That was a lot. From the watch party, Kimberly Clark said, I agree with setting a dress code. Kendra Moore said, have some self-respect. Tanya says, I have not heard about this. Sad that it has to happen, but understood. Aisha said, I think it's a good idea to try and help set a good example for the kids, but how are you going to enforce this is my question. Correct. Robin said, who had their mama come pick them up from the skating rink or party in her rollers and house dress with the stains and or holes? Girl, I would have died. I would have just died. Just died. Vanessa said, I think the reason she addressed this is because the neighborhood is mostly Black and brown students. Jennifer says, I don't think this was terrible. When I was still teaching, parents would come in looking all kinds of crazy ways. And it does set an example for the kids. Still, I couldn't help but notice the things that were called out seemed to be directed at a particular group. Vanessa said, don't go to school embarrassing yourself and your child. Christina said, so back to the story, if they turned her away and did not allow the parent to enroll their child into the school, which is the case in this story, what happens to the child?
Blame the parent.
Well, the child needs to be able to enroll, so we can't like
You
not
can
let.
still enroll. You can come back tomorrow and enroll your kid even when you have on something appropriate. I mean, it seems like I'm listening. I'm looking. You're reading the comments and the consensus. 95% of the consensus is dress respectable. So we have a good group of women.
Lakia said at her kid's school there are signs that says you cannot come into the building dressed as such.
Wow. Whoa, that's a lot.
Yeah. Kimberly Clark from the Lakia, where is that? Where is that school? Kimberly Clark from the watch party said kids are cruel these days and can bully a child based on how the parent comes to school. I absolutely
that too. That.
Jenny Jordan said house shoes are for the house, bra straps should be covered, and the tattoo on the upper leg should be covered. Robin says, I had a coworker who wore pants with no belt that was loose in the waist and had on thongs. So she was sagging.
She's setting an example. She should have got sent home. Y'all remember a few years ago, the teacher that got criticized for having too tight pants and too tight shirt because she was too sexy or something like that?
Yes.
I would
remember.
Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah, I don't know. So I don't know. I think that there need to be some guidelines.
I agree.
Cannot.
You agree from a educator's perspective. Christina has indifferent opinions because I'm listening to her opinions and I'm just like, she's coming from a parental perspective and I'm coming from I'm not a teacher or a parent.
Well, Nisi just brought up another point. Nisi said, I understand the parent came to the school inappropriately, but what if that's all she had to wear and was facing hard times? So what that might look like at my school, Nisi, is we would get her right on over to the social worker because, girl, we got a whole clothes closet. We'd be like, boo, go shopping, girl. What you need? Let us help you.
She's not going to tell you that.
They might, if you ask. A lot of them do. If you ask them the right questions, you know. And I do think it's an opportunity. Sometimes I feel like at schools we're also educating the parents. So it could be, I think it's definitely an all how it was handled. So it can't be handled aggressively, go to jail, you know, all that kind of like that's the most. But I do think if we use it as an opportunity to talk to the parent about why we have that dress code, why it is important to make sure that we have appropriate dress when we're leaving the house, how that's going to impact their kids in the future, all of that. I do think it would be an opportunity to really make a difference in that parent's life and in that child's life. So
I agree.